going to do that right now. Okay. So welcome to tonight's team call, guys. Super excited because one of my favorite Beachbody coaches is coming on to share success tips. And but first I want to run through, I know there's a bunch of new announcements going on. So I just want to kind of run through a quick couple of things. Just so you guys remember and know, Pumpkin Spice Shakeology is coming out September 3rd. Also this month, oh, by the way, that stuff sells out really fast. Take it from me, the person that didn't get any last year because I was at a school function. I'm so chapped about it. So also you can earn promo codes for next month. Every time you use a promo code this month, you get some more promo codes. Amazing. All right. And then also this month we have $10 off of Recover as well. So Leslie, did you want to add anything? Anything?
Oh, sorry. My voice is like horrible still, but.
Oh no, that's right.
I'm excited for tonight's call.
Yay. All right. Well, then I will go ahead and introduce our guest speaker for tonight. So, Jamie Fitzpatrick, all the way from Canada, not too far from Leslie and I. So Eric and I started following Jamie and Kim, his beautiful wife. Back when Leadership 2015, they came on stage and talked about, how they were running their business and the successes they were having. And so we started following them. And we're kind of the creepy followers that don't participate or say anything. So like we'd see Jamie and Kim, but we were like, oh my God, I so know and love them, but I can't say it to them because that's weird. So, I just admire their business and their teamwork together. And I would love for Eric and I to be there. And I think that's what our goals are, to just have that kind of partnership and to be able to build a business together is so inspiring. And I think it give us a lot of hope because I know a lot of coaches in here would love to work with their spouse. And I know I see Sarah and her hubby there too, work together. So, all right. So Jamie is a 14-star diamond, 3-time elite coach. He's already locked in elite for this year. He was in the top 10 in 2017 and is a CAB member and is the top coach, currently top male coach since 2016. And they won they were awarded the CEO award this year at Summit, which was super exciting. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Jamie and unmute. Oh, we're playing mute, unmute battle. Okay, here we go.
That always happens. They click, 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 click. Okay, I got it. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so if I start to fade out, just do something, raise a hand, and I'll switch locations because we've got not the best internet. But thank you for the introduction. This is like when I started coaching. I gotta shut off the chat. I'm like a squirrel. I will look at any chat or comment. I didn't see there's something about my shirt. Is that what it is? It's salmon. Not that anything's wrong with pink, but yeah. When I started coaching, and I'll share a bit about my background because I really want to talk to you about, I think one of the things that really helped me in this business when I started is that, and I will talk about this later, I always say this on calls and I don't mean it to be self-deprecating, but I really feel like I came in here into this business in 2015, not with an extreme amount of intelligence. I always say I'm of mediocre intelligence at best. I don't have any real superpowers other than I really don't care what people think about what I do. That's actually a good superpower in this business. But I didn't come in with any social media experience at all. But the one thing I did have, and I was a high school teacher, and I got out of that to do traditional retail business. And I don't think the actual the business skills that I learned doing the business. We had a pet retail store and we opened with one store, my brother and I. This is back in 2000, we're old by the way. This is going back to 2004 where, we now are through the late 2000s and early 2011 and 12, you saw a lot of dog boutiques pop up and dog lifestyle stores. So we were actually one of the first ones to start that in North America. There were a few around Three Dog Bakery and stuff, but this is back in 2004, we decided to do a dog lifestyle store. And it was all color blocked. So we had really fancy collars and bowls and you'd have the red section and pink and blue. And you'd walk into the pet store and it didn't feel like you were in a pet store. Our whole idea was like, we wanted to up the shopping experience. So I feel like the business acumen that I learned from that isn't necessarily what carried over to coaching or network marketing, because I do think the business acumens are very different through traditional retail. And then we became franchisors. We got our stores up to 23 locations. So we started selling franchises and all that good stuff. So you do learn a skill set there. But I think what it showed me joining this business is, and I'll take you through what happened in our business, but it just showed me how special actually this Beachbody coaching was. And because of that, because I understood, because I'd done this type of business before, and now I was doing coaching, I really understood how incredible of an opportunity this was because of what I went through in my past business life. And I think this is the one thing sometimes that coaches miss is, and we have 40 people on this call. I know you say out loud, I believe in the business and like, oh yeah, I'm all in and I really get this business, but like, do you really believe in this business? Like, do you really understand how special this is? And I want to walk you through a few things. And this was kind of like my edge up, is I understood everything about, not right away, but I understood how different this was from traditional business. So really quickly with my story, I was a high school teacher, got into my own business. We opened up these pet stores. We started opening up. It was going really well. They were called Bark and Fits. And, you know, from the outside, it looked really successful. We're opening franchises. We're going like coast to coast in Canada, one in Vancouver, East Coast, Toronto. We started opening up. We opened up one in New Jersey. Hey, we started opening up one in New Jersey. But here's the thing, like, when we opened that first retail store, we had to go to my parents. We were teachers. I think my first year teaching back in 2000, I'm aging myself, back in 2005 or 6. My full-time salary was $32,000 a year. I knew I wasn't going to achieve or do the things I want to do with my family just on that salary. And it's not an income thing, because my wife and I live very much by our means. We're more into experiences and we want to have opportunities for our kids and us and stuff like that. It's never been about stuff for us. It's more about time freedom. So I literally quit my teaching job. I'd done it for 7 years. My brother and I moved out to the East Coast of Canada, not East Coast, but sort of the eastern part of Canada. And we opened up this retail store, and our retail store cost us, I'm ballparking because I didn't really do a total. Our first store cost us about $250,000 to open, $250,000. A lot of that we borrowed from my mom and dad, who were retired, happy, had RSPs. Like, they took a chance on us. We paid them all back. It's all good. But that was the cost to open our first store. From the time we opened our first store, I remember the first 2 years, we hadn't franchised yet. We hadn't opened up. It was just the one retail store. It was 2,000 square feet. We opened it up in the highest per capita city in Canada, Oakville, Ontario. This is where all the professional athletes from Toronto live, all the CEOs that, have corporate, they all go there. But we opened it there on purpose because we were a higher end store. Our rent per month was, I think when we opened, about $7,000. It got all the way up to about $8,000 or $9,000 a month in rent we had to pay our landlord. Like, do you know how many dog biscuits and expensive overpriced dog collars you have to sell to pay that rent? Never mind, your employees, everything else that comes with retail, like insurance, and plus you have to stock the store. So if you sell $100,000 in a month of product, you paid about $50,000 for that. You have to keep buying and reselling and restocking all that stuff. So for the first 2 years, I literally took probably Christmas off and maybe a day or two throughout the year on other civic holidays and stuff. But we were in that store from about, 8 or 9 in the morning till probably 9 or 10 at night, every freaking day. And we busted our hump, because we invested $250,000, of course. 200 of that was my parents' money, again, which we paid back. But how how invested and how hard do you think my brother and I, Mike, who's also a Beachbody coach, how hard do you think we worked in that business? Like, we poured our soul into that business. We had to. We'd left our teaching jobs. We thought it was going to work. As you can probably tell, I don't think too much about what I'm going to do. I'm all about the experience. I always knew I could go back to teaching. I had a master's degree in teaching. I always knew I could find something else to do. So taking a jump from teaching with a pension to opening a doggy boutique, people had their opinions about what we were doing. As you can imagine, they're like, are you guys effing crazy? What are you doing? I don't think about life that way. You know, I never have. And it's one of the things that's helped me with Beachbody, and I'll talk a bit about it, is like, when I started coaching, I just went. I just started. I didn't worry about knowing everything. I just, boom, what do I have to do? Emerald, I don't know what that is. It's a pretty sounding thing. What do I have to do? Boom, I went and did it. Same thing with Diamond. I think I did Diamond in 32 days. Like, Miguel, my upline, I'm like, tell me what I have to do. I went and I just do that, and that's one of those things. But with the retail store, what I quickly learned is those first 2 years, we did 1.6 million in sales in the one store, which sounds like a really good number. It's Canadian, so that's like a lot less than the American, but it's a really healthy number to do your first 2 years. They say if you can survive your first 2 years in business, you're good to go. In retail business, you're good to go. I'm not talking about network marketing coaching. But like, if you can survive that way, you're good to go. Well, we made this much money after 2 years. Literally made $0 with 1.6 million in sales, because obviously rent, employees, trying to make ends meet and trying to make sure the store is full of inventory and stock and all the things that come with a retail store. And some of you probably have experience with that. And then we were just coming into the time where, you know, the internet and people started shopping online, and your, you know, big box stores and PetSmarts and all the big, you know, Walmart, everyone has pet stuff now. It got really, really hard. And then we started franchising out our stores, and people were paying us $250,000 to open a store of ours, and we had to brand it for them and open it up. And then I was starting to worry about, like, okay, they spent their own $250,000, and I took that personally because I care about people. And like, plus then, guys, because it's a franchise system, these people are operating under the same things as us. They're in other parts of Canada paying the same type of rent because we were a higher end store. But on top of that, because we were corporate, my brother and I, every one of those stores was writing us a check every month for 6% of their overall sales, plus 2% marketing fee. And we could spend that marketing dollars however we wanted to promote Bark and Fitz, the brand. Plus they're paying their Visa machine, like it's 1 or 2%. American Express is even worse. Like, here's the thing, right? I always say this all the time. It's like, if any one of you went and opened a retail store or a higher end franchise, or even a lower, like a McDonald's or Dunkin' Donuts, we have Tim Hortons up here. There's so many franchises out there, Boston Pizza, whatever you want to call them. Most of your friends and family would look at you and they congratulate you. You have an opening party. It's like they come in your store, cool, no judgment, right? No, and still you'd have invested $200,000 or $250,000 and all that. The crazy part about coaching is that you guys know how to sign up as a coach. You know it costs $160. You know all the benefits about this, and I'll talk about it in a sec. But how much ridicule, not everyone, but how much ridicule and judgment and opinion you get on the actual coaching opportunity because it's outside the box, guys. And what you need to know, and I really want to get this through to you, is that just because something is different and outside the box doesn't make it wrong. In fact, it makes it actually really special, because there's only a small fraction of the population will see the magic in it. There's only a small fraction of the population that will see the genius in this business model and opportunity. And I saw that very quickly because of what I'd done previously, you know? So we opened up these franchise stores. We start to get into legal battles with our franchisees because we want the stores to look a certain way. Personalities come in. We bring in a third business partner to help us with some of the business acumen. That goes sideways, different vision. We're in lawsuits. I'm getting sued personally because when you start to sue corporations, we were suing them personally. It just starts to go back and forth. The crazy part about all this is like, as we started going through this, you know, the stress of it all actually had me gained about 60, 70 pounds because I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle the stress. And I'm a self-medicator. Food, alcohol, other stuff, gambling, you know it, that's me. And I just gained all the weight. Ironically, it led me to one night, you know, probably eating pizza and drinking scotch or whatever was my crutch at that point. Some crazy tanned, ripped dude who had way too much energy was on TV infomercial. It was Tony Horton. It was P90X. And I ordered the infomercial. I ordered the infomercial. And for whatever reason, I'm just turning off my thing so no one else can call me. For what other reason, I ordered it and I loved it. I worked out in the basement and that was the thing of me starting up Beachbody. We ordered every DVD set going forward, lost all the weight, fell in love with the company. And I always say this on all my team calls. And I really want this to ring true with you. Kim and I were 2-bag Shakio customers a month. I don't know how long we were. My wife was ordering the Derm line, you know, like we were full on Beachbody people. Not once, you guys, not once did anybody ever reach out to us about joining an accountability group. And we were like prime for the picking. We were actually on social media. We were your model Beachbody customers buying every DVD that came out. Not one person invited us to a challenge group. Not one person ever approached us about coaching. And we'd look good on your weak leg. Like we've produced some decent volume in the last 4 years. You need to keep reaching out to people because you just never know who the next person is. You just think it's saturated because you're a coach and they come across your feed the whole time. That's the way it is. There are people out there that will crush this business. I'm searching for them every day. You should be too. And when you sign them up one day, they will shock the shit out of you as to what they're capable of doing in this business. But if you don't invite, your chances just go down. The less you invite, that percentage of finding that person who's going to change their life and yours just goes down and down and down and down. You have to show up, you guys. If this is empty, this business activity tracker, if it's empty, so is your frickin' bank account. You've heard this before, but it rings so true. If this is empty, I'm going to guess your bank account is too. At least your Beachbody one is. Okay? You have to do the fundamentals, guy. You have to. We're proof of that. Some of you missed out on us. I don't know how long you've been coaching. Multiple coaches missed out on Kim and I because they somehow didn't invite us. Maybe they saw us on social media. I don't know. You know, maybe they didn't come across us, but like, you just never know who the next person is, guys. So keep doing that. So back to my thing. So I actually walked away from my company with nothing. We did 60 million in sales and I walked away from that company with nothing because of the stress of it all. I just couldn't deal with it anymore. And I went into work one day. I said, I'm done. I'm out. I'm going to go find something else. And I ended up working for a consulting company in the pet industry. And I did that for about 6 years. And then in 2014, my wife and I were both working our corporate jobs, traveling from like 8 to 6 every day. We had a 3 and a 6-year-old and we just weren't seeing each other. And our kids, we'd pick them up at daycare at 6 o'clock every day. And we'd get home, spend a couple hours with them, put them to bed and get up and do the whole thing over again. And I remember it was November 2014, a couple months before we joined as coaches. And I remember my wife and I just sitting there. I think that month, because we both traveled so much, we saw each other like 4 days that month or something. And I remember on the couch and we were just like, is this how the next 30 years is going to go for us? And I'm not BSing you. We really had this conversation. It's like, is this the next 25 years is going to go? Like, is this what we're good with? Like, is this what we're good with? And so I signed up on January 29th, 2015. And I kind of, again, I jumped in with both feet. I didn't know anything about the business. I didn't know what an accountability group was in. No one had ever put me in one. But the couple things that I really knew clearly was when when I filled out the application form for my upline coach, who is Miguel, who's a top male coach up in Canada, I remember filling out his application, and because I had Shakeology already and we had whatever we had already, he was like, so it's $50 to be a coach. I'm like, I said, what? What do you mean? Like, what's $50 to be a coach? He's like, no, like to become a coach, like to actually be a coach and sell things and build a team, it's going to cost you $50. And I was like $50 to start my business. This is coming from a guy who was in this world of like $250,000 stores. And he thought, like, I honestly laughed at him because I didn't understand what he was talking about. I'm like, because I looked around and done research, and I saw coaches were like making a lot of money at this business. So that struck me. I didn't know. I thought maybe it would be 500 or 1,000. I thought it would be more than $50. I really thought that way. But here's the difference, you guys. And I think this is the difference between maybe someone like myself who joins and someone who signs on with a challenge pack, and kind of wallows in obscurity in this business. And I don't mean that to be disrespectful. From day one, because I treat time the same. If I'm going to spend a minute doing this, or I'm going to do a minute doing this, why would I not put all my focus in that minute, whether it's with my kids, in my business, working out for a drink with a buddy I'm going to pour the same amount of love, affection, focus into that minute that I can. I don't think about it in terms of what I've invested. And the thing about coaching is, from day one, I think the X factor for me is I treated this like the $250,000 retail store I opened from day one. How many of you have treated it like that from day one? How many of you treated it like you've borrowed $200,000 from your parents? How many of you treated this business like if it falls apart, shit's going to hit the fan? What type of urgency do you run your business with? How bad do you want it? Do you believe in this business? Like I'm gonna switch my here's the thing. I'm gonna switch it to now I can see everybody. No pressure. How many of you, and you can be completely honest here, like honestly, because I think this is a growth thing for you that maybe you can learn from this. It's like, how many of you really, I'm gonna ask you two questions. How many of you really believe in this business opportunity? Not in yourself, because that's something totally different. How many of you believe in this business opportunity? And maybe it's unfair for me to ask you because you are attached to this, but how many of you really believe in this business opportunity and that you can actually take this to like 6 figures, God forbid 7 figures? Put up your hand if you actually believe this business opportunity is good for that. Okay. I hope you're all telling the truth. Now, how many of you, if I knew very little about coaching, how many of you could explain the compensation plan to me? I saw some heads go, yeah. So here's the thing, guys. And I'll be the first to say, when I signed up as a coach, it took me a long time. I remember my coach asking me after I hit Diamond, what is your next goal? And I remember people talking about 2-star. And I was like, 2-star by the end of the summer. I literally did not know that meant I remember I didn't know that meant I had to have a diamond as one of my coaches. I just said it out loud so I'm not saying you have to know everything about this business. In fact, there's probably like 10 to 20 really core things you need to know. The other 500 moving pieces, all the white noise and buzz you'll learn that as you get to that point. But like, there's some really core things about this business you have to understand. Because here's the thing. You do need to explain to some degree, you can use third-party tools about coaching, but you do have to have a sense and a semblance of what is coaching and how would you explain this to someone, right? Like what? And because if you don't know that, and as I'm talking, you're sitting yourself going, yeah, shit, I really don't know what I would say to someone. That honestly is a mental block for you right from the get-go, it's no surprise you're having trouble signing on people to be on your team. Because you have a mental block probably already. Because if you're sitting here going, I don't really know what I'd say to someone or how to explain it, that's something you need to work on. You need to dive into that. It's not going to be hard. You're going to have to watch some videos. You're going to have to practice, but you are going to have to understand basic team cycles, like how that works, right? Because I know it's like when your knowledge goes up about something, your confidence just starts to skyrocket. And when your confidence skyrockets, like you start to be open about it and you talk about it. Like, of course, you're not going to invite that many people to coaching. You'll invite a ton of people to your challenge group. Ton of people, because it's your comfort zone and you know it's streaming, you know how to explain BOD and Shakeology, and Energize is a no-brainer. That's comfortable for you. So that's just like, it's go time. But shit, coaching, that's a whole other animal, right? That's a whole other animal that freaks the crap out of some of you. So my advice is to dive in and tackle the stuff that scares you the most, which is coaching and the comp plan. And guys, the comp plan, it is complicated and it's not. And when I'm talking to someone, I don't talk about I don't go into all the bonuses that you can get. And you know, you need 200 from your left leg and 100 that produces a cycle bonus and 14 if you're emerald, 18. I don't go into that stuff, but I do explain to them, like, look, there's two ways to earn income. There's a commission side, which is awesome. And then there's like a residual income, really cool side where you can grow your own team and stuff like that. But like the part that always struck me when I started coaching, this is the thing that I still cling to this day, because this is the part that is the separator for me. This is why this business is so special for me. It's 160 joke dollars. Anyone can own their own wellness company tomorrow for 160 bucks. Like, what other universe offers that? None. You get to work on yourself. You guys know the spiel, okay? It's like, but it's true, right? This is the kicker for me though, because I come from the franchise world and our stores were cutting us checks for $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month before their expenses. They were giving us checks because they were using our name. Like, their royalties were that much, plus the 2% marketing, so forth. Guys, and this is where the whole pyramid scheme, you got to get in first and all that bullshit that everyone talks about who knows nothing about what a pyramid scheme. If you ask anyone who says, oh, it's a pyramid scheme, ask them what a pyramid scheme is. They will have they won't know. They can't explain it to you. They won't. I don't know. It's like, they can't explain it to you. They've heard that term thrown around, right? Listen, and I don't want to get into, but I will. I don't want to get into, like, I have some theories about the way the world works in corporate America. And some of you I was an employee for a long time. I was a teacher. And then I worked for a consulting company and I was an employee. Nothing against employees. You know, most of my family is, most of you probably are. I just think, this is my own personal, and I'm not a what is the word? Conspiracy theorist? Thank you. But I believe, I think corporate America, I think this is all set up to keep people small. I think we've set the system up so that employees get paid 10 bucks an hour, 15. I don't know what they pay you in the US. I know what it is here. It's set up to pay you 10, 15 bucks an hour. Your employer tells you you are worth 12 bucks an hour. That's what your hour of time is worth. I believe it's set up that way. They don't want you to get ahead. They do not want you to get rich. If we all got rich, who would do all the jobs to run the actual company? I think the system's set up that way, but we all buy into it. And the best part for them is we go get a mortgage and we get debted out and we don't know how to pay that. And you're stuck at your job that pays you $40,000 a year and you're maxed out on your credit cards. They want you in that position, you guys. That's how it works for them. That's how the CEOs make money. That's how the company profits off everything. They want you small, guys. Sorry, my opinion, you can disagree with me. But yeah, student loans, let's not even get into that, right? Like, you know, I think between my degree and my master's, I think I spent $200,000. I was lucky to get a job, but like, how many people go to school for 4 years and get a degree and spend $100K or $150 and hopefully get a job? But God, society's like, great job. You got a degree. You're in debt. Like, You might get a job. Fantastic. They actually throw a graduation ceremony for you. Your parents pat you on the back. You're $100,000 in debt. Go get a job that pays you like shit. Like, honestly. But society is like okay with that, right? But God forbid, oh God, don't start coaching for $160 and help people and maybe yourself. Like, oh my God, what are you doing? You're ruining your life. But isn't that how effed up it is though? Like, that's how effed up society is though, because they want you to think that way, you guys. They want you to think that way. They don't want you to play big. They just don't. So a lot of our belief systems, especially when we've been grown up, and I know I'm going off on a tangent, but a lot of our belief system, like no one, when I was in my grade 11 counselor's office and I was sitting there and they're like, you know, hey, Jamie, what do you want to do when you grow up? Like, no one ever said to me, you know, hey, do you want to like start your own business and be an entrepreneur and like, you know, go do some cool stuff? No one ever told me that. They were like, go to school and be a teacher or a doctor or a nurse. Nothing wrong with that. Obviously, nothing wrong with that. We need, you know, those are important occupations, but like, I think nurses and teachers should be paid more money than anybody in the world. Look what they have to do, right? Right? You know, but it's kind of like, so I think going into your conversations with people about coaching, these are the things I think you can arm yourself with to know, like, guys, this is a really cool opportunity. Your coaches, when you sign up a coach, guys, they don't give you a royalty fee. They're not giving you 5% of their sales to you. As a coach, you keep 100% of your income. Taxes are another thing. You keep 100% of your income as a Beachbody coach. 100. And in fact, if you do it properly, you pay less tax on that money than you do on the other money you earn on your other job. Because you have expenses and write-offs and stuff like that. But think about this, guys. Everyone thinks this is like top down, get in early. No, top makes all the money and low doesn't. No. Guys, I got in 9 years after coaching, 3 years after it opened in Canada. Like, I was late to the game, actually. Not that you can start whenever you want, but it's just not true. And here's the other thing I talk about, like my team Beachbody, my bonus check every Thursday. That check we have 4 business centers, soon to be 6 between Kim and I. Those paychecks come from our work. It comes from our team who works together. But what I love about this business is I don't take 1 cent from my coaches. I don't take 1 cent from my coaches. Anita doesn't take 1 cent from you. You don't take 1 cent from any coach you sign up. This isn't a royalty system. This isn't a franchise system. This is network marketing. Every coach keeps 100% of your income. And this is when I approach people about coaching, I hit on 1, 2, 3 main points. I talk 25% commission. You can build your own organization and team, and you get a bonus if you do really well with your team every Thursday, and you keep 100% of your income. You don't pay any money to anybody. You're not paying it to Michelle or Keisha or Christine or Lindsay or Becca or Sarah Burdick. Hi, Sarah. You keep all of your money, you guys. But people don't understand this. I call it the outside world. People don't understand that. They view it as a certain thing because of what they've been told and blocks up and all that other stuff that they think about this. But these are little things that not only you can take knowing that, like, this is a cool business. Like, there's a real morality to this business where, like, guys, you can stop anytime. You're not locked in. We're not buying $5,000 and effing vacuum. Oh, there's kids. Sorry, I've been swearing. Sorry, Jackie Lorenz. I see a child there. You're not buying like, they've heard it before, right? You're not buying like $5,000 of vacuum cleaners and storing it in your garage and peddling vacuum cleaners at house parties. Like we get a whole customer service team, like products taken care of. You don't take payment. Like, this is the stuff that when I talk to people about it, like, this is what I love. This is the stuff that fires me up. I'm sorry if this is your thing. I started this business with Accountability Group, helping people lose weight, and it turned into the coaching part of it. And that, I love the mentorship and coaching side. Like, that's what I thrive on, is like building coaches up. I love helping them build a business. The customer side, I'm not great at anymore. I don't like challenge groups. You know, I did them for the first 2 years. Kim does that now. I did it because I had to, and I do love that process of helping people, but I love helping people build a business. Like I love getting, you know, hopping on Zooms, and one of my coaches, like a couple of weeks ago, got to leave her terrible office job with her shitty boss. And the fact that she gets to come home, that's the stuff that, like, that's what fills me up, right? That's the stuff. But I get passionate about how awesome this business model is. And I think that in turn creates energy for people to go, oh, I didn't know network marketing was like that, or at least our network marketing model. I didn't know I didn't have to buy product. I didn't know it was like literally, what is it, 99 bucks, 97 bucks for Shakeology in the US plus your coach fee. Like, guys, and that like, let's just assume Shakeology is a business expense, even though it really isn't, because you'd have to buy all those things to get all that stuff anyway. Like, even if you took 97 plus the coach fee, like for 120 bucks or 129, whatever the total is, to operate your business every month is kind of a joke, you guys. It's a joke. Yeah, I know you get people who are like, oh, that I just can't keep up with the expenses. Well, work your frickin' business and you won't have to worry about that expense. Work your frickin' business and you won't have to worry about that expense. Because when you make $1,000 a month and it's only 120 bucks, it means you're profitable. But you have to do this. And guys, my secret in all this, my secret to this is I treat this business far more seriously than most of you. And I know that sounds like a dick thing to say out loud, but I probably do. I just don't treat this like a hobby. And guys, when we started this, my wife and we had full-time corporate jobs and a 3 and a 6-year-old. So it's not like, you know, we just squeeze this into the pockets of time because I thought, God forbid, I thought this was important to our family. And I treated it like a massive 7-figure business from day one. And you're gonna have to determine what that feels like for you. You're gonna have to determine what treating this like a 7-figure, whatever your goals are, you're gonna have to find your cadence with that. Yeah, there's gonna be some periods of imbalance. Welcome to entrepreneurship. And you're gonna be undercompensated for a while. That's how this works. You know, you're not an employee anymore. As an employee, you trade time for money. That's employee mindset. And if you never move outside employee mindset and you never move to CEO mindset, you will be stuck in an employee mindset and you will start to resent this opportunity because you're going to wonder where the money's coming from. Because I'm putting in all this time, but there's no payback. That's not, you're not an employee in this business. You have to put in the time and have patience and grit before you see that, because you get undercompensated in the beginning. But guess what happens after you show up day after day after day after day, year after year? Guess what happens? You go from getting undercompensated to actually getting overcompensated. And that's where the magic starts to happen. That's where the magic starts to happen. But you have to believe in this opportunity. You have to understand where the edge points are, where you can like really hit those potential coaches with 1, 2, or 3 things that you're comfortable with about compensation and what this, never mind the community aspect of this. And, you know, we get to take care of ourselves first and foremost. Those are all great things. That should be a given in your sort of spiel or your pitch. But if you can come up with 1 or 2 things that you feel really comfortable with, that maybe some of the things I've talked about, and if you really in your heart understand how special this business is, I'm telling you, it will be far easier for you to invite to coaching, far easier, you guys, because you'll just get it. You already know what you're going to say to someone before they were like, yeah, actually, I'd love more info. But you have to think that process out. You have to get comfortable with that process of what you're going to say to somebody. And you got to believe it in here, because, wow, it's so easy to see. It's easy to see when someone's authentic, and it's also easy to see when someone's like, they're not too sure. I don't really know how to build a team. I don't really know how to get to diamond. I actually don't really know what an actual cycle bonus is. I don't know what that is. So if all those things are like, you know, chipping away at your confidence because you don't know them, Of course you can't grow a team, guys. It's like the chicken before the egg, right? Of course you can. But you can do those things. They're not that hard. Like I've given you 1, 2, 3, 4 things, little things you can say to people. And I think that's going to make you feel really comfortable in that process of talking about coaching. And just know from someone, like someone who's done both. And now, like my wife and I have gotten into, we started this, this headband company online. It's actually taken me back to my retail days because I've realized how much freaking work it takes to, now we have to stock things and manufacture things again, and we take payments and people are complaining about stuff and they're not, the headband didn't get there on time. Like now it's taking me back to why I got into coaching in the first place. It's been great, but like it's another check on like, holy crap, what we have here, guys, is so freaking good. And it flows and we have systems, and the fact that you're on a team like this, not everyone has this, guys. I know, and it's easy to take stuff for granted. I know that, like it's human nature. But like not everyone, I would say probably, 80, 90% of the network is kind of off on their own, trying to do their own stuff and not sure where to go. Because, ask Leslie or Anita, you ask Kim or I just had 2 today. Can I join your team? I'm on another team. Can I just switch to you? No, it doesn't work that way. Like, no, you can't. You have all the tools you need anyway, all our trainings on YouTube, in your back office. Stop, because the other thing that happens is if you think you're going to do better on someone else's team, it's not the upline that's going to make you successful, guys. It's just not. Like, you have great ones, but it just comes down to action. And if you use that as an excuse, it's subconsciously going to bury your business. And I know that because with people who ask to join our team, they're thinking it's their upline's fault. And I'm like, you're killing your own business because you're using that as the reason that you're not successful. And it just comes down to you doing the action and stuff like that. But guys, it's like, this is a new economy. What you're in right now, coaching, is you found a new economy business. That's a good sign. You found something where, all the systems have been done for you. You can do this from your kitchen table. It's online. You can reach out to people from North America and the UK, soon to be France. I mean, how cool is that? That's a new economy, guys. This is groundbreaking stuff, and it's wellness, and we're doing good things. And I think if you can take all those things and have confidence in that, that's going to be a massive part of your success in growing a team. It's going to get rid of some of those blocks that you might have up about coaching, and just stay patient. But, if you're going to stay patient, you got to put in the work every day, or it's going to be a long, long run for you. So I hope that helped, Anita.
Jamie, that was amazing. My neck hurts from all the yes. Like, ow. But I mean, I can see Leslie too. We're both like, yes, yes, yes. This team needed to hear every word you just said. And it's funny that you mentioned the headband business, because I started a side business in consulting basically other people and other businesses how to use Instagram and Facebook. And I actually filled up a class. I had a $10,000 profit from it, and it was miserable. I was working 60 hours, putting together slides, dealing with customer service. And that was the moment I was like, oh my gosh, this Beachbody thing is an incredible opportunity. This is amazing and I was like, I'm never doing that again. I told Eric, I was like, you can't pay me to ever do that again. I'm like, I like my 6 to 7 hours now at home. I mean, and doing what I love and not dealing with a bunch of BS. But yeah, I remember, and Leslie knows, we both came from corporate jobs where we worked our asses off. I remember hustling 60, 70 hours a week, not seeing my kids, working nights. And I just took that and drove it into my Beachbody business. I was like, okay, whatever I did over there where I was making $50K a year, if I could just pour that energy over here, I bet I can get to $50K a year. And that, I mean, I surpassed that, but that grind and that work, you got to do it. I mean, it's not going to, too many people are like, gosh, it's too hard. I've had coaches say to me, oh my God, I didn't know this was going to be hard work, and I don't want to work hard. I'm like, okay, bye. But yeah, thank you so much for everything that you said. I know that everyone needed to hear that, and we're grateful. Thank you.
No problem. Anytime.
And I love seeing Kim right next to you on your chair. It says Kim
Oh,
Fitzpatrick
right
there.
Hey, Kim.
I kept looking. I was like, oh, she's not there. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time tonight.
No problem.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has any questions. So enjoy your night, everybody. Thanks again.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.